Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to a video, and this video I'm going to teach you guys how to play Clue. Now, it's the Clue Master here, because I'm the best at this game, and I will show you how. I'm planning to do face cam in the future. I'm just kind of not looking that good right now, so I'll do that in the next video most likely. So, Clue is a board game in like real life, but I'm playing it online right now because it's a lot easier for this video. If you're new, like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So, as you can see, we got all the different characters here. Because I'm on my computer and on my phone, I don't have all these unlocked, but I'm just doing this for the sake of the video, so I'm not really bothered with these yet. I might get them eventually on my computer. I'm just, I have my phone, and I normally play on my phone, um, yeah, we're gonna be Miss Peacock, and the idea of this game is to figure out who did the murder with what weapon in what room. So, we're gonna just play with easy bots for now for the sake of this tutorial on how to play. And not every video is gonna be like this. We're gonna play with real people online. We're gonna play with 6 people, not 3. We're gonna play with hard bots. We're gonna do challenges. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So you can read my description on my channel if you want to find out more. But yeah, let's get right into it. So we're against Mustard and Orchid. So, or Colonel Mustard, should I say, and Dr. Orchid. So we're gonna start the game. And as you see, we're brought into the map. It's more of a keyboard, but as you know, this is an online game, so I'm just gonna call it a map. And yeah, you'll notice a few different things off the bat. So on the right here, we have a clue sheet. Now this is gonna be how we keep track of all of our cards. And it says on the left, who killed Mr. Body? To win the game, you must find out who killed Mr. Body with what weapon and where. Now, I already explained that to you guys, so we're gonna click. And as you can see, we have the suspects, weapons, and room cards, and they're going to be secretly added to the envelope. These are the murder cards, so this is what we're trying to find out. So one of each will be placed into the envelope, like so, and then the rest of the cards will be dealt out. Solve the murder by discovering what cards the other players have. If no one has a card, it's in the envelope. That is correct. So as you see, we'll be drawing 6 cards because it's a 3-player game, and we're actually very lucky. We have 2 suspects, Miss Scarlet and Mr. Green. We have 2 weapons, revolver and wrench, and we have 2 rooms, ballroom and kitchen. Now, Mustard actually went first here, and she's gonna go into a room. Now, this is happening really fast, but basically what happens is, once you're in a room, you're able to make a suggestion, and somebody is able to show you a card, like the next person on your right, I think, because Orchid's on his right. So yeah, so someone's able to show you a card, but even if they have all 3 of them, they're only able to show you one, and this is how you deduct what is given. So as you can see, Mustard asks a question, he has a question mark symbol next to his name, and Orchid showed him a card because she has a check mark symbol. Now, I do have the green card here, so I know that she could not have shown him green. So that is a little bit of information. We're going to get more into that in a different video, but yeah, so that's the basic premise of this game. You want to go into rooms to find out different cards. So now, Mustard's turn is now done, and it's now Orchid's turn. She rolls the dice, she gets a 6, and she moves to the ballroom now. I have the ballroom, so no matter what here, I'm going to have to show her a card. So she's going to guess plum with the lead pipe in the ballroom. Now, I don't have any other choices but to show her the ballroom. Continue. And now, once again, these are like easy AIs, so we're probably going to beat them, but I'm definitely going to beat them. Now, we'll click on the dice, and we roll them. 8. Okay, so based on my rooms, I'm gonna go to a room that I have, and I'll show you why. This is a basic strategy. I don't recommend always using it, but I'm just gonna use it for the sake of the video. So, let's say I want to find out the suspect, right? So, we know it's not Scarlet, we know it's not Green, but it's either Colonel Mustard, Dr. Orchid, Miss Peacock, or Professor Plum. So I'm gonna say myself, Miss Peacock, a card that I don't have, and myself, so I don't move someone else to my room, to give them like a free turn, basically. And I'm gonna guess a weapon that I have, which is gonna be the wrench. I'm gonna say Peacock with the wrench in the kitchen. And what this does is it narrows down one thing. So we know that I have the kitchen, we know that I have the wrench. So the only card that somebody could show me is the Miss Peacock card. So if nobody has it, that's what's in the murder envelope. Once again, this is not a strategy I always recommend, and I will explain it in a different video, but this is just a basic strategy. So, I'm gonna do a suggest, and Mustard has a card. Now, we know he's gonna show us the Peacock card. Yep. And now, as you can see on the right, we have this little circle system under both the characters. So this one little yellow dot here, it indicates that we know one of 6 mustard cards. So we know Peacock is not the case. And I don't know if I really explained this, but this is the mustard column, this is the orchid column. And it'll tell you like what card. So we know orchid doesn't have Peacock because mustard does. So yeah, there's only one of each card. So I'm going to press continue. Notes are automatically added to the clue sheet, so we learned after making that suggestion. Yeah, we just explained that. Tick means that a player has shown a card, across means they don't have it. Yep. No one has a card, must be involved in a murder. Right. The clue sheet. Right, so I'm going to press continue. Now this is how you win the game. So you can either end your turn on the end of your turn, or you can make your final accusation and guess what's in the murder weapon. Or the murder envelope, sorry. If you guess what's in the envelope, and you get it wrong, then the game continues, and you're just gonna show the people cards, and you don't have a turn. Like, you're basically out of the game. But if you do get it right, you win, and the game's over. So I'm gonna press end turn. I don't know enough to figure out things yet. And as you can see on the little clue sheet here, we could do a lot of things. We could circle, we could cross out, we could, like, mark in people's boxes, which is gonna be useful for later. So, he's gonna guess green, the rope, and the study. And Orchid doesn't actually have a card here, which is very interesting. So I'm gonna show mustard green, but there's something else that I need to show you guys, right? So, because Orchid doesn't have a card, hold on, sorry guys, I need to make this full screen because my computer doesn't fit this well. Yeah, so I can't see the study actually, it's on the bottom, but you can. So, as you can see, the study has an X and the rope has an X in the orchid column. So we now know that if Mustard doesn't have the rope or the study, that that these cards are in the envelope. So I'm gonna put a question mark here on his column. Then we're gonna find out next turn what he has. See, he can also get cards of his though, so we're gonna have to be careful. But my guess is one of these cards might be in the envelope. And Orchid's going to the kitchen. Now, we're going to have to show her something because we also have the kitchen, but... yeah, let's see. So, green with the revolver in the kitchen. And we have all 3 of these cards. We can only show her one, obviously. So, it's better to not show a room, because then they're going to have to go back to the room later on to guess it. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but you always have to guess the room that you're in. I'm sorry if that confused you a little bit. And I don't want to show her the revolver because I've already showed nobody the revolver. So I'm going to show her green because I've showed Mustard green. And I actually showed her green before, so I don't know why she's guessing. I think it's on easy mode, but yeah, I could kind of remember that. So yeah, I'm going to make a switch in the room. You cannot stay there the next turn. You must move on, right? That is a rule. Unless you get moved to the room. Then you get to guess the room if you want. So we're going to go to the study. In case you didn't know, there are secret passages in the corners, so the kitchen and study link up, and the conservatory and lounge link up. So we're going to go to the study. And I'm going to do the same thing I did before, with guessing 2 of the same cards that I have. And we're going to try and figure out the room now. So we're going to guess Miss Scarlet, because I have the Scarlet card here. And we're going to guess the revolver, because I have the revolver card here. And the only card I don't have in this is the study, so if I'm not shown a card, then I know that the study is murder room. So I want to suggest. And Mustard doesn't have the card like I suspected. Nobody has a card, meaning that the study is actually the murder room. So we're gonna cross off everything else. It doesn't matter who has these right now, but we know that they don't have the study. So we now know that this murder took place in the study. I just got an achievement. That's nice. Yeah. So, what are we gonna do? We're not gonna make our final accusation because we don't know the person and the weapon. We do know the room though, which is a very good start because there are 9 rooms, and that would be the hardest one to rule out. So we're gonna end my turn again. So Mustard rolled a 4, and obviously these are AI bots, so they're not gonna take a long time. But in like a real online game, or with your family, or whoever you're playing with, this is gonna take a long time. But these are AIs, so you know. And Orchid had a card here. Now, this is interesting because we know that she could have had Orchid. There's nothing here for her. We know that she could not have had the rope because she has an X there, and we know that she could not have had the kitchen because I have the kitchen. So now we can whittle down that Orchid actually has the Orchid card, which is kind of ironic, but that is a very simplistic way to figure out cards without people showing you them. Sorry. Yeah, so now we know one of Mustard's cards, and one of Orchid's cards, and one of the cards is in the murder envelope. So, we're gonna press continue here, and Orchid is going to go and roll the dice. She's going to the study now. Now we know that nobody has the study. We can maybe use this to our advantage, depending on how she guesses here. So Scarlet, the lead pipe in study. Now, the only card here I have is Scarlet, so I have to show it. I don't know about the lead pipe, but I'm not sure. And now we're gonna do the same thing for the rope that we did with the study. We're gonna guess 2 of my cards and 1 of this card. And in a different video, I will explain why this is not the most effective strategy in a game. Maybe in a 3-player game it is, but not in this game. And we actually don't have the hall, we don't have the library, so we're gonna go to the kitchen. And I like the animation here with the secret passage, that's kind of cool. So now we're gonna guess Miss Scarlet with the wrench, because I have those 2 cards. Oh wait, never mind, I messed up. Start with the rope, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out the weapon. And Mustard doesn't have it, and neither does Orchid. So now we know this rope, because there are 2 X's here, and they both don't have it, is in murder envelopes. So now we only need the person. And based on our deductions, we know that it's either Mustard or Plum. So that should be our next guess. We're gonna end my turn here. And Orchid's going back to the study. Oh no, sorry, Mustard's going to the study. I don't know how much editing I'm actually gonna do in this video, but I'm gonna try to do editing to make a cool intro or something. So. Okay, now this is also interesting. So now we know that the rope is in the envelope, the study is in the envelope, and we don't know anything about Mustard. So if these 2 cards are in the envelope, I wonder who has this card. It is Orchid, because she showed a card, and this is the only possible card she could have shown, based on our deduction. So we're gonna put a check mark in her column there. And now we know that it's actually Plum with the rope and the study already. So we're gonna put 2 X's here. And now we know everything. We're gonna cross off all this stuff, just to make sure. And now can you just use our next guess to confirm all of this information. But right now it's Orchid's turn. She's in the kitchen. She's gonna guess Plum, the revolver in the kitchen. Now I have the revolver and the kitchen. Now once again, I said that showing a room is never a good idea if you have the choice, because basically what a room does, if you show it, then they won't ever go back there, and maybe someone else could figure out that you showed it. But if I don't show this room here, then she's gonna probably go back to it. She's gonna have to go back to it if she wants to solve this murder. So I'm gonna have to show her the revolver too, if I want to be smart. But a room is never a bad idea to show, it's just, there are sometimes better options. Like, if you have to show a room, show it, obviously. And if there are different circumstances, like if you know someone's close to solving the crime with the weapon, let's say, then I would definitely show a room. Or if you show the room in the past to somebody, then I'd show it again, because you have that opportunity. And we're going to go to the study now and confirm our accusation. So we think it's Plum with the rope in the study. So we're going to get Plum with the rope in the study, I suggest. Mustard and Orchid both don't have cards. Now we know that this is the guess, because we don't have them, Mustard doesn't have them, and Orchid does not have them. So we press continue. No one has these cards, so they must all be involved in murder. Continue, and we're going to make our accusation. Now you see, this is a nice little accusation room. We have all the people in back here. We have all the statues and stuff. I like this drawing, whatever this is. And then we have this cancel button in case you didn't want to make it and you accidentally clicked it. So we're going to get Plum with the rope in the study. Now if we get this wrong, which I don't see how we can get this wrong, then we lose and we're out of the game. But if we get this right, then yeah, we win. Accused. So it was. Oh, I have to click on the. Oops. Plum. I got that right. With the rope. Yes. In. Let's go. And that is how you solve a murder. Now, again, once again, these were against easy AI bots. But also, you can see on the left here, I was very happy, and Plum was actually handcuffed, which is kind of funny. So we're gonna press continue, and we get a final report now. Very easy, obviously. Turns 5. Yeah, so this is obviously the easy mode, but we get play on a little bit of a harder mode. I'm gonna do a second game, just to prove to you that I'm the best. So we'll cut to that right now. Okay, now once again, we are Peacock, and we're gonna actually make Mustard Green, and we're gonna make Orchid Plum, because we want to play against different people. And instead of making them easy, we're gonna make them on the medium difficulty, so it might be slightly difficult, but I don't know. We're gonna see. Right, so as you see, we're playing as Plum and Green, the same animation again with the 3 cards there. And we get our 6 cards now. This is a little bit different. We only have 1 person, 1 weapon, and 4 rooms, so we know a lot more about the rooms this game, which is really interesting. Of course, Green rolls a 12, and moves to the dining room, which I actually own, so we're gonna have to show them the card here. And of course, our clue sheet is now filled out, and we can show them the dining room. Let's continue. Right, my turn. Okay, roll a 7. Now, I'm not gonna do my strategy with the... I wouldn't call it my strategy, it's a very commonly used strategy. But I'm gonna go to a room that I don't have, and I'm gonna get 3 cards that I don't have. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So we're gonna go to the ballroom. Obviously I don't have it, and we don't know anything about it. So the good thing about this strategy, where you get 3 cards you don't have, is you find out more information, potentially. But also, there's more likely someone will show you a card. So, it's kind of got its ups and downs. So we're gonna guess Plum, because we don't know anything about Plum. With the dagger, because we don't know anything about the dagger, in the ball. And of course, Plum's gonna have a card. So, click on it, and you get the Plum card. So, now we do know that the Plum card is not in the envelope. His turn. Plum's turn. And it's gonna go to the dining room. Now we do have the dining room here, so maybe we can figure out some information, depending on what he guesses. Plum with the lead pipe, dining room. And Green's gonna show him a card. Now this is interesting. We know that Plum has the Plum card, so obviously Green could not have showed it. We know that I have the dining room card, so Green could not have showed it, so he can only have showed the lead pipe card. So we're gonna put a check mark for the lead pipe on Green's column, and an X there. So now we already know 2 cards, but only 1 turn, which is pretty insane. And the lounge is the next room. Orchid, lead pipe, and lounge, and neither of us have a card. So we don't know if he had a card. We do know that he did have the lead pipe, so we're gonna put question marks here, because we don't know if he has Orchid or the lounge. Now, it's our turn again, and we're gonna go into the lounge if we can make it. I don't think we can, so that's really dumb, but we're gonna go into the billiard room, because we have it. So, I'm gonna not use the same strategy I used last time, because you can always mix it up. That's the best thing about this game. But we're gonna guess Orchid with the candlestick, because I have the candlestick, and the billiard room, which I also have, so we'll find out if it's Orchid or not. And Green has Orchid, so we know that when he gets Orchid, lead pipe, lounge, he might have not guessed all 3 of his cards, but he might have actually found out that the lounge was the place. So I'm gonna keep my question mark there, because I don't know. Because he could have guessed 3 of his own cards. It's a different strategy, but I don't know if the AIs are actually that smart. So Okay, he's in the hall. Orchid, revolver, hall. Now, he has the orchid card. So, we know that he probably showed that. But he could have also showed the revolver. Because we have the hall, so he could not have showed that. So, yeah. So he could have showed either orchid or revolver. But we know he had a likelier chance of showing orchid. Because we know that he has orchid. I talk too much. Now, green's going to the hall. Scarlet. Ranch hall. Now, I only have the hall, so we're gonna have to show that. You kind of understand the basics of this game now. I mean, it's very straightforward, but there are little strategies you can use. Right, I don't think I'll be able to make it to the lounge, because the lounge is on this side of the board, just this room, where my little hand thingy is. So we're gonna go to the conservatory, because, remember, these have secret passages, so next turn we'll be able to go to the lounge, assuming that I don't get moved to a different room. Right. We are going to guess Scarlet, because we don't know anything about her, with the revolver in the conservatory. And Plum has no cards, which is actually interesting. And green showed us the revolver, so he actually did have orchid and the revolver when he showed someone in that previous guess. So, well, yeah. Now we know that Plum doesn't have Scarlet or the conservatory, which is very intriguing. So once again, we're going to put question marks here for green. And as you can see on the top, we're keeping track of people's cards. So these 3 dots means that we know 3 of green's cards, and this 1 dot means we know 1 of Plum's cards. Now, what's interesting is that, once again, green can only have 6 cards, so if he does have all 3 of his cards, we know all of his cards, but the chance of that happening is pretty slim, so we don't actually know. So my guess is that one of these cards is actually in the murder envelope. But we don't know yet. Now, Plum's going to the library. I do have the library. Scarlet. Lead pipe. Library. Now, he does have the lead pipe, so nothing will be narrowed down this turn. Green's turn. Now, green's also in the library. We're going to the library. Now he's in it. And I'm gonna have to show him the library, most likely. Yep. It's the only card I have out of Orchid Dagger Library. Continue. Now we're gonna roll the dice. And we get 3. But that doesn't matter because you don't actually need a number to get to the secret passage. As long as you're in the room, you can always go. So we're gonna head over to the lounge and we're gonna guess 2 of my cards and 1 card that I don't know, which is gonna be the lounge. So we're gonna guess green, because I have green, and candlestick, because I also have that in the lounge. And Plum doesn't have it, and green doesn't have it. So we now know the lounge is actually the place where the murder happened. Now obviously we can cross this stuff off, because we know that's not where it happened. And because of this, we can actually figure out different things. Now let's take a look at this. We know that the conservatory is not the room, and we know that Plum doesn't have it. So, which means that somebody has to have this card, and that somebody is obviously going to have to be green, because he's the only one who can have it. So we now know another one of green's cards, which is actually really interesting. End turn. You see how everything kind of links together in the end, depending on how you play. You can figure out people's cards without even having them shown to you, which is a different strategy. Green showed him either the Orchid Ranch or Conservatory. We know that he's Orchid, we know that he's the Conservatory, we don't know about the Ranch, so we're not going to put anything down for this. Guess. And also leave a comment down below if I'm going too fast for you or something. I'll slow down in my next video. This is my first rodeo. So, yeah. Now, I don't have a Peacock Dagger Lounge combination. And we know that the Lounge is in the envelope. So we know that Plum had to have shown the Peacock or the Dagger card. And we don't know which one, so we're going to actually put a question mark for both of these. Does that make sense? I hope it did. Now 9. Now we can actually jump back and forth here between the hall and the lounge, because we have the hall and we know the lounge is the room. So we don't need to figure out anything more about the room. So we're not going to go to any rooms that we don't know if people have. So we know that someone has the ballroom, but we don't know who. So we're not going to go there. And same thing with all the other rooms that are like crossed off but have no markings. So we're going to guess Scarlet because we don't know if somebody has it. With the dagger in the hall. And Plum has the dagger. So that takes this question mark off, because we know in that turn he could have shown Peacock or the dagger, and obviously he probably showed the dagger if he showed it to me. So now we know that the weapon is either the rope or the wrench. So we'll keep an eye out on that. You see, this is a little bit more difficult with the bots on medium. They're a little bit smarter. Orchid. With the rope in the billiard room. And he has a card. Now, of course, he has Orchid. We don't know about the rope, though. And I do have the billiard room. So, that kind of narrows it a little bit down, but we don't know. Because he did have Orchid. And I feel like this is like the 15th time this game that Green has showed Orchid to Plum. Like, in a real game, with real people won't always be guessing the same person if they already know it, but once again with AIs, so next time we play, I'm going to play a little bit differently in like an actual online game. Plum with the rope in the conservatory, and I don't have it, so Plum has a card, and we know Plum has Plum, so nothing going there. We're going to go over to the lounge and try and figure out the weapon. In fact, maybe we can knock off the person and the weapon in one shot here, and you'll see what I mean. So we're going to go over to the lounge and get Scarlet, because I think it's Scarlet. I'm very confused. I have the question mark here. I don't know if Green has it. With the wrench in the lounge. Plum doesn't have a card, but Green actually does. I didn't think Green would have a card, but he does have the Scarlet card. So now we know that Peacock and Mustard are the only two remaining people, and the rope and the wrench are the only two remaining weapons. Now, I'm not sure about the wrench, because we don't know if Green has it as his last card. Enter. The billiard room. Okay. No, I do have this room. Mustard with the rope in the billiard room. Now, Green has a card here. Now, we don't know if he showed the rope or Mustard, so we're going to put question marks there. But which is really interesting to me is that it doesn't actually matter which one he showed, because now, look at my clue sheet. We know that Green has 5 cards that we know, and 1 card we don't. And the 1 card that we don't, believe it or not, is actually the Mustard or the rope card, because there's no other card he could have shown in that scenario. So now we know that he does not have the wrench, and does not have any of the other cards, meaning that the wrench is actually the weapon. So I'm just going to put X's on every other card that Green can have, because we know his last card is either Mustard or the rope. Now Green's turn. Going to the ballroom. Now, we know Green doesn't have the ballroom. I don't have it. So, we're gonna see. We actually know that Plum has. Oh my god, this is really big. I just thought of this. Yeah. Plum actually does have the ballroom here. Which is really interesting, because we know this is not in the envelope. We know Green doesn't have it, I don't have it, so Plum must have it. The same thing with the kitchen and the study. So in one turn, we just figured out 3 of Plum's cards. That's pretty crazy. Now we know 5 of each. We're only missing 4 cards here. 2 of them. Oh wait, never mind. Oh yeah, well, we have the wrench. Okay. I'm gonna go. Get a 7. Now, I have to go back to the hall here. Because I have the hall, and I want to guess a room that I have, because I already know the murder room. So, we're gonna guess Peacock, the wrench in the hall. And Plum has a card. Peacock cards. Now we know all of Plum's cards. Now X, on Plum's column, because we know we know what all of his cards are already. And then we're also going to Circle Mustard, because it's the only person left. Now we know the crime. And just to brag a little bit, we know everybody's cards, because we know that, obviously, because Mustard's not in the envelope, Green can't have it. Or Mustard is in the envelope, sorry. And we know that on that turn, Green must have shown the ropes. Now we know everybody's cards, which is pretty crazy. Final accusation time. Mustard, the wrench, in the lounge. And every time, which is really interesting about this game, different combination. I mean, obviously you can get the same combination, but it's normally going to be a different combination of 3 cards. And now we're going to get Mustard, wrench, and the lounge. We win again. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more content like this, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Cluemaster, out.